So we just walked up here about 1.75 kilometers. It's a bit over a mile, but it's a steep incline, so I'm sweating like crazy. Steep. And Mia's with me today, wearing her sexy clothes.
No, because it's so hot.
It's so hot, yeah, I know. And we thought we'd do another walk and talk. And today we thought we'd discuss food, because the variety of food here compared to the States, the types of food you get here, the good type of food here, the food I miss from the US, the food I miss from Europe, and so on. And I'll talk a bit about the differences, even about Europe, American, or the US, and food in the Philippines, and the good, bad, and the ugly. So I'm going to turn the camera around so we can look at the nature while we're talking. And once in a while I'll turn it back to us, but okay, here we go. So I'm going to start with American food. I came to the US in '96 to study, and you know, I found that the food, and I'm specifically talking about Norway, to be more tasty. Like, for example, a steak in Norway I found better. Bread in Norway, God, is so much better than the bread I bought in the US. So I just found European food in general to be more tasty, better quality, if you want to call it that, than food in the US. And I think that has to do with all the steroids, hormones, additives, and all that we put in the US. And then but you know, living 20 plus years in the US, I kind of got used to that taste. But even though when I go back to Europe, Spain in particular, because my mom lives in Spain, I find the food there just so much better. I don't know what it is, but the food is just more tasty.
In Spain?
Yeah, and the way they lay the food out, the olive oil, the olives, God, it's just wonderful. And then I came to the Philippines. Now, I had been in the Philippines before, visiting a few times, but never lived here. So obviously when you're on vacation versus living a place, it's way different. So before we continue talking, I would ask you to please subscribe, like, and share, and comment. Both the commenting, sharing, liking, it really helps on the video algorithm to pick up our videos, and that helps us grow our YouTube channel, and for that we're very thankful. Thank you. We'll continue on with the discussion now. So when I came here, you know, went originally to a few local restaurants, and the food wasn't very impressive, I have to say that. I felt that the food was, for the most part, low quality. Like they'll use...
Well, what can you expect from the Philippines?
I'm not saying what I expected, I'm just saying how I felt. And and the worst is the burgers. Man, the burgers here the burgers here taste like shit. Okay, well, not quite like shit, but you know what I'm saying. And yeah, so I still to this day haven't found a burger that comes anywhere close to the burgers I got in the US. I just love the burgers over there.
How about,
and that's maybe that's a good business idea to start here in Dumaguete.
What about there in the Cliff Bay? You said the burger.
It's like, okay, so from 0 to 10, 10 being the best burger I tasted, the Cliff was probably 5, okay? And I go to just a normal burger place in the US, is at least a 7 or an 8. So I was, yeah, but it was the best burger I tasted in Dumaguete or in the Philippines. So they made it really good, but not comparable to the burger in the US. So yeah, so that might be a good business idea to start here in Dumaguete, a burger place. Just that's all you serve, really good burgers. I'd be willing to pay good money for a good burger. But anyway, so also the steaks are not anywhere close to the US here. When you go to like hypermart or a supermarket here in Dumaguete, I'm talking about now, if you live in Cebu City, or I'm sure also the same with Manila, you can get goods that are from the US, but typically they're 20 to 50% more than in the US, which is already expensive compared to the prices here. And sorry, this dog's getting a bit close. And so you end up buying more local goods, and you end up, you know, but in the end we have found some good stuff, right?
Yeah.
because Mia, she likes to make chili, and she makes damn good chili. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. We found some stuff, good meat and stuff by the Hypermart and Robinson. I think the one at Robinson's better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I said, once you move here, you'll find stuff. You'll be able to find stuff. But in the US, just the variety, the choices, the quality is much higher than here. Especially if you go shopping at somewhere like Whole Foods. Oh my God, they have really good bread. They have really good. I mean, they have a lot of good stuff there. So yeah, I wish I could find a store.
How about in Ayala and Cebu?
Yeah, they had good stuff, but it was so expensive. Even like compared to the US, it was goddamn expensive, you know? It's like mind-blowing. It's like the salami there was double of what I paid for in the US. I mean, that was crazy, you know?
Where do you think they get it?
I didn't come here to spend more money than the US, you know? I came here to enjoy life on a budget, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. So back to the European food now. When it comes to Europe, obviously Europe are many countries. I mean, it's not like the US, more homogeneous. Europe is more, you know, heterogeneous. Europe is much more countries, much more cultures, a lot of different landscape. I mean, the food, for example, in Italy is way different than the food in Norway. And the food in Norway is different than the food in Germany. So you have so much different types of cuisine, very high quality food, and so many different landscapes. So I mean, to me, you know, I'll probably stay in the Philippines. I don't know how much more longer, maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years, we'll see what happens here. But in the end, I'm gonna start thinking about migrating to Europe. I just think the landscape, the history, the food, everything is just better there. But you know, Philippines does have its charm, you know. And the charm here are the people, the landscape. Of course, it's like a jungle type of landscape, which I've never really lived in before. And the weather here is nice. Can get hot at times. Hey buddy, how are you?
There's a duck.
Huh?
A duck.
Hello, ducky. Oh, he's mad. He's mad as a cow. So maybe you can say something about the food like in the Philippines. Now we've obviously had more European food since you know me. So we'll have like steak and potatoes and gravy. Sometimes we'll have pasta, like the pesto pasta that you make. What else I'm thinking here? Chili, of course, that you make. So we do make more European food than we do Filipino food. We've had chicken adobo, I remember.
Chicken curry.
We've had chicken curry, but I mean curry, that's not just Filipino. That's, you know, that's Thai. That's, I mean,
That's Asian food.
I've had curry everywhere, but yeah, curry is curry. Well, not really, but curry is good. We haven't had Mexican food, right?
Like,
And so
ha? Kuan wala namin naabot dito sa atong naitaas balay dito. Kay kuan na kayo. Yung motor asa man? Naara dito sa ubos, pinakaubos.
what's that about?
She asked if we're just stopped
Ah,
and toured.
yeah. They're so curious, yeah. Even though they don't know. So, like, what can you say about the Filipino food compared to like the food that you've learned to make, which would be more European, Mexican, American type of food that you've made since knowing me? Like, what's your preference?
Like when it comes to Filipino food,
Yeah.
I can say I'm making it and I want to make it more the Filipino food.
What do you mean by that?
Like for example today, okay, we're going
Yeah.
to make sausage, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have sausage today, But tomorrow I was thinking of making adobo, cause like
Oh, so you mean you miss it? Sometimes when you make European food, you kind of miss it. So
I kind of miss the
Yeah.
Filipino food. So it's like, you know, it's in the system in
but
me that
what can you say about the difference? Like the difference between the foods? I mean, is the Filipino food more spicy, more salty, more pepperish? Is there more fat in it? What can you say about that?
I think it's more like some Filipino foods. We call it the halang-halang.
Halang-halang?
Yeah, it is so spicy, but you can make it not spicy. So I think it's just, I don't know.
But in general, would you
In
say
general, I guess it's just
more spicy
yeah,
and more salty, huh?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they use a lot of soy sauce, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
when you're making adobo,
Yeah,
because you're gonna marinate it for at least like an hour.
yeah. So there's some delicious Filipino food,
Yeah.
right? Sorry about that. What's that pork that we like? What is that?
Pork sinigang.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, that's the soup. There's a soup here that I really love, and it's called pork sinigang. I haven't had that for a while.
Yo, yeah.
And no, the other pork, you know, the one that's crunchy on the top. And
Lechon?
yeah, lechon. No, not lechon. They cut it up in pieces and they divide it. It wasn't lechon.
It's not lechon. It's
But anyway, they have some good food, and they use a lot of pork here instead of beef. So a lot of pork in different dishes, because pork is relatively cheap here. Now me and Mia, we love chicken more than anything else.
yeah.
I miss having a good steak though, I really have to say that, and I haven't really found a place with a good steak at a reasonable price that I can buy and make a good steak. But pork is good, chicken is the best. Yeah, so what I do really miss, and I haven't found this in Dumaguete, is olives, fresh olives.
But you
Yeah.
can get that at Ayala Mall, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's in Cebu City, and now everything's closed. So yeah, you can get that Ayala Mall, but again, it's kind of expensive. So there are actually a few business ideas here. You could have olives, you could have, huh?
My stomach stuff first.
So here we are with some Filipino stuff. Yeah, this is what are they doing here, babe? Huh?
Because it's too steep going
Down?
down. It's
Hello.
started. Hello.
Hi.
Started again. You gotta walk slow.
Walk slow. So anyway, back to food. And one thing I love here, I tell you,
What?
this is the best here, okay?
Okay.
If I was going to pick one thing that's better than in the US and better than Europe, it's the fruit, okay?
The what?
The fruit.
The fruit.
I don't mean the women buy fruit. That too is the best here. But yeah, no, I mean the actual fruit that you eat. The mangoes, oh my god, beautiful.
Juicy.
Juicy mangoes over here. And I mean the type you eat, but you get both types of juicy mangoes here. But also you get, what's the other one I like so much?
Rambutan.
Rambutan. I don't know what it is in English, but I'll put a picture up there. And the brown little one with the white inside, what's that?
Brown little what?
The one Juna loves.
Ah, lanzones.
Lanzones. And you have watermelons, you have different...
Apples, but that's from China.
the apples here are from China. But you know what the funny thing is?
What?
When I eat apples in the US,
Yeah.
my throat starts swelling. I never had that problem here.
Really?
Yeah, it's true. I don't know why in the US it's like my throat swells when I eat apples. I can't eat apples in the US.
Why?
I have no idea.
Is there something wrong with the apple seed?
Obviously not, because people there eat apples. But for me, when I eat it, my throat swells. So I don't know. The one from China I can eat. I never have an issue.
Well, China has something wrong. The China people, they put something in it.
Yeah. And then, oh look, they have lots of different vegetables here. They're growing
Spinach.
spinach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll see this in the jungle. They'll just take a piece of land and they'll grow vegetables. It's pretty cool. And there's a bamboo hut over there, someone living there. It's such a simple living. So Yeah, the fruits, the vegetables, you have lots of fresh vegetables.
Yeah.
And everything is so easy to grow here. I mean, you just throw something, and the soil is so nutritious here. It's amazing. It's so dark, the soil here. It's just crazy how easily things... You know what surprises me, that I haven't seen more farms here, like industrial type farms like in the US, because I think you can make a killing if you had that here. As nutritious as the soil is here, everything would grow so easily. So easily. Anyway, that's another good business idea. So yeah, don't steal my business ideas, okay?
Okay.
1 year from now, there's a burger place down there.
Very good burger. Hey,
Or
man,
someone
that's
selling
my
olives.
idea.
Thanks for the idea. Yeah, give me 10%. So yeah. So yeah, I think besides the fruit, the vegetables, they're better here, obviously, because they're picked fresh, basically. Like in the US, they pick them before they ripen, and then they send them, and then they're ripening while they send them.
Oh.
So not all the fruits, but some of the fruits are like that. So yeah, well, anything else you want to say, Mia?
In 1 week, we're gonna make European food.
Like what type of foods?
You know, like chili. Stuff
Chili,
like that.
I think is Mexican, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
pasta.
Out of this country food, for example.
Out of the Philippines?
Yeah, out of the Philippines food. Maybe in that 1 week, my body tends to find Filipino food. Like, I need to eat.
You have cravings.
Yeah. So like maybe.
You have cravings.
I do have cravings.
Yeah, I have cravings for different types of food sometimes too. So you're craving for Filipino food like once or twice a week?
Yes, yes.
And how come you don't make it more often?
Well, because we make chili con carne, and that lasted like 3 days.
So when she makes food, she makes a big old batch, and so we end up eating the same food for like 2 or 3 days.
And then the next
you make the pasta, and then that's good for 2 or 3 days.
3 days.
At the end, I'm like, oh God, pasta again.
Pasta again. And next time
There's coconuts up there. So yeah, so Filipino food. The food here is, the fruits are wonderful, the vegetables are great. The other types of food are just okay. You know, you have some good dishes, but otherwise it's just okay. The quality of food here, I would say, is lower than the US, but then again, it's cheaper in general, unless you're buying American food. What do I mean by that? It's like if you go to Hypermart or Robinson here, or the supermarket, wherever you are, and buy Skippy peanut butter, it's going to be more expensive than the US, and a hell lot more expensive than the Filipino brand. The problem with the Filipino brand, they put a lot of sugar in it, so it's like I try to stay away from sugar, so I end up, and the American brand tastes so much better. What do you think? Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Because you love Skippy.
I love Skippy.
Skippy peanut butter. But we can order Skippy peanut butter now on Shopee.
On Shopee.
So, and it's relatively actually inexpensive compared to the US. It's, I'd say almost the same, maybe 10% more.
Also, the Skippy in Robinson is much more expensive than the big one you order in Shopee.
Yeah, the small one in Robinson. So that's a good thing now, because the internet's kind of taking off here. And there's online shopping. Online shopping is becoming a big thing, so you get a lot of competition, and you get like local people buying stuff in bulk and selling it online and making, you know, $1 or $2 in each item, $50, which for them is a lot of money. But if you make $50 and you sell 500 items, that's $250, you know.
Yeah.
So they're doing all that and making money, so that's a great thing. Competition. Hello. And so yeah, it's getting better here. There's more variety here now than before, I'm sure, you know. and things are getting cheaper. On the like the foreign stuff is getting cheaper, it seems, compared to before, because there's more competition. And yeah, so
I could pick some chili.
oh yeah, look at this, we found chili. And while we were walking, this is chili. We found one.
Very spicy one.
It's a very spicy chili.
Yeah.
Are they not all the same?
No, some chili are not.
So we can come up here and just get some chili. Why do we pay for it?
Oh no, we bought chili in the hypermart earlier, and it's 23 peso.
So this is Paul and
Mia,
signing off. And before we sign off, we want you to remember to
like, subscribe, and comment
and share. It really helps us out. It really helps our channel out if we share the video on Facebook, because then more people see it and it actually picks it up on the YouTube algorithm and the Google and all that. So it really helps us out. So thank you.
Bye bye.
See you next video.